And okay, hi Team Empower. Thank you so much for showing up. We have got a huge, major special guest, enough so that Leighton and Ellie Mae are so jealous and tuning in too, I think. So, Jacqui Nelson, if you have not seen her face scrawled all over Rodan and Fields, is an unbelievable rock star. You haven't even been in a year, right?
Actually, a week from today will be a year.
That's insane. And Christine Piper and I met her in Scottsdale, or in the airport on the way to Scottsdale. She has earned both of the Milestone Fives in her first year. She also, Run to Convention, just blew it away. I think, I don't know, you were like in the lead for a while, and like 4 or 5 in the company, which is amazing. Did a national training call on Powered by You, which a lot of us have already listened to, and she's here with us tonight. So I am going to turn it over to her. Just, I know time is valuable, and she's going to take it away and rock it.
Okay, cool. Let me turn my, all right, there we go. First of all, I just wanted to thank Courtney for having me come on. I am so pumped to talk to you guys about recruiting and duplication, because it's something that I'm super passionate about. I'm not a numbers person, but my husband is. And so when we sat down months ago when he got back from deployment and kind of broke down exponential growth and how huge it is in this business, I was like, okay, I don't get numbers, but I can see the difference in that and this, and I want to be here. So you just got to get to work. So before I jump into training, I just want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about me and kind of give you like the nitty gritty background and my why, so you know, kind of where I'm coming from. I won't spend too much time because I want to jump right on into the meat and potatoes. So again, like Courtney said, I'm Jacqui Nelson, and I'm a Premier Level 5. I've been in, it'll be 1 year next week, and it's been the craziest year of my whole life. Prior to doing this, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I always wanted to own my own business. So I had a jewelry MLM for a couple of years, and thinking I was like really successful. I was making like, like $2,000 a month, but really all of it was going back into inventory, because, when you've got that type of business, you're pumping your income into inventory. And I was out of the house 8 to 10 times a month. And I just didn't see how that was going to be sustainable if I ever wanted to have a family. Then I got into real estate, and then I actually had a baby and was like, this ain't going to happen. I, very well can't bring my newborn with me on all these appointments and showings and whatnot. So then I had the brilliant idea, or my husband and I did, we had this brilliant idea. We were going to start an online clothing and accessories boutique. So think, basically like if you guys have ever heard of Red Dress Boutique, think of them, but out of your house, like in your garage, tons and tons of inventory, pop-up shows all around town, and a lot of work. And so we started this when Skylar, my first daughter, when she was 3 months old. I went to market in Atlanta. We spent more money than you can imagine on inventory and starting a business. And you know how we always talk and praise about how this is a virtual franchise with the doctors that create Proactive, and how we, you don't have to have a big investment in a big infrastructure. Well, I was the other one. I had a big investment in a big infrastructure with my clothing boutique. And my husband sunk his entire life savings. He's a military officer. He's a fighter pilot in the Marine Corps. And so he sunk his entire life savings into my business. And then we went and got a lot of credit cards and had a lot of debt. And that business was just not profitable. After about 1.5 years, I felt extremely claustrophobic and stuck. And just, I was wondering, how the heck am I ever going to get out of this? Last summer, we had our second daughter last May. So Mackenzie just turned 15 months old. Again, fastest year of my life. And so we had just had Mackenzie. We had just moved. I had 2 daughters, 19 months apart. My husband was getting ready to deploy. life was bananas, right? And the last thing I thought I would ever do was to add something else to the plate. But as we all know, you just kind of have to make that plate a little bigger and juggle some things to figure out how it's going to work. And if you want something bad enough, you're going to figure it out. And I so badly wanted to wash my hands of that business and do something from home to be able to work around the girls and Kenny's crazy military schedule. So Kenny deploys August 14th of last year, and I started my business with Rodan & Fields August 22nd. I want to back up a little bit because I always forget to say this, and it's kind of important. I was a longtime preferred customer of Romy's for 7.5 years. So I had bad acne my whole life. My mom introduced me to Rodan & Fields in 2009, got on the phone with Romy as one of my mom's dirt calls because my mom actually signed up to be a consultant to get the discount. And I was my mom's very first dirt call with Romy. And Romy was like, why are you not doing this? You're going to do jewelry? You're crazy. And I was like, I'm passionate about jewelry. I think skincare is stupid. And so it's a big learning lesson for all of us that no truly does mean not right now. Because it took me 7.5 years to finally join the team and like understand the vision. And so 7.5 years I used the products, and one fateful night last August, very early August, before Kenny's getting ready to leave, I was washing my face with my Redefine regimen, and I just broke down. And I was like, I want nothing to do with my business anymore, and I think I'm going to sell skincare. I'm pretty sure that this is what I'm like meant to do in life. And this bottle has been staring at me in my face quite literally for 7.5 years. So my husband, being as supportive as he always is, he was like, okay, find out about it and let me know. So the next day I got on the phone with Romy and I heard more about, the business and everything, and I was hooked. I was like, this sounds like exactly what I need to get us out of debt and to build the life I've always known that I'm destined for. I knew that I wasn't meant to be this average, like live paycheck to paycheck type of person. So like I said, August 22nd, I bit the bullet, enrolled, and I have had blinders on ever since. I will tell you in the beginning of my business, I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a timeline of how things happened, because if you're new, it doesn't matter where you are in the business, I can relate to you. But I got off to a really slow start recruiting. So it's kind of funny, I'm talking to you tonight about recruiting and duplication, but I was a PC queen in the beginning of my business. So I enroll, and Romy's like, 10 and 2, focus on adding 10 preferred customers every month and 2 business partners. So in my very first month, I did add 2 business partners, but they were total duds and did nothing. They actually didn't even promote to EC until month 4 in the business. So I was EC September, October, November, and then finally in December, I was like, if you guys don't hit EC, I'm literally going to strangle both of you, because what is wrong with you? So I took them to this nice dinner, and I was like, come on, let's do it. So I was PC queen. I was adding a ton of preferred customers, 20 in my first month, 25 in my second month, and so on and so forth. But I'll tell you, the income from that did not suck, right? I mean, I was really starting to kind of see that, okay, I'm helping people get good skin. But in November, I got bit by the recruiting bug. I had these 2 duds on my team that, like I said, weren't doing anything. And I love them both. They know I call them duds, so I'm not being a jerk, I promise. And they call themselves duds. So in November, I was on a call with Romy, and I said, I feel like I'm missing something, and I don't know what it is. And she said, Jacqui, you're not being coachable. You told me you were going to do 2 a month. You said you wanted to make this amount of money, and you're not there yet because you're not recruiting. And this huge light bulb, I had that aha moment, yeah, you're right. I told you, I promised you that I was going to be coachable, and I'm not, because I'm leading with the products. As I said before, I was a product user for 7.5 years, so I was very comfortable talking about the products. I knew the products. I was safe there. The business was something that was scary. And honestly, I had tried all these businesses, and I was so scared that I was going to put myself out there and offer the business opportunity, and people were going to think I was stupid. I was really scared that people were going to roll their eyes and be like, are you kidding me? Jacqui's doing another MLM or whatever. So I very quickly changed my mindset, and I said, I'm going to be successful at recruiting because I'm going to be intentional about it. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the book The Secret or watched the movie The Secret, but I strongly believe in the power of positive thinking, and what you think about, you bring about. I've always thought that. I mean, I remember being, 21, 22 years old with some of my girlfriends, like on a Friday night, we're like, do we go out and have fun and like try to meet guys? Or do we like stay in and watch The Secret and drink wine? So like we would stay in and watch The Secret and think about, creating our dream life. So I've always been a big dreamer. So in November, like I said, became very intentional about it. I started leading with the business. And this is so crazy, but as soon as I started opening my mouth and leading with the business and talking to preferred customers of mine, because like I said, I had a bunch by that time, and saying, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? And people came back and said, actually, yeah, looks like you're having a lot of fun. I'm kind of interested. Can you tell me some more? I was like, oh crap, what do I do now? And so over the course of 2 days, I had booked 4 enrollment calls, and I was on cloud 9 thinking I was like hot shit, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm awesome. I just booked 4 enrollment calls. This is going to be so cool. And I text Romy and I was like, oh my gosh. And she's always says the same thing to me. Just don't count your chickens before they hatch. And so I was like, oh, this is in the bag. I've got it. So over the course of 12 hours, all 4 of those enrollment calls canceled. And I still say it's just because I suck. No, I'm kidding. Not because it was just this like terrible sequence of events, and it was just bad timing for all of them. And 2 have since joined the team, but just recently actually. And so, like I said, in the course of 12 hours, all 4 of them canceled. And I called Romy crying. And this was a make or break it for me in the business. And if you guys have ever been in this place, I get it. I've been there. But I want to tell you something that Romy told me that, again, was kind of a make or break it moment for me. And it stuck with me from the very beginning, or from when she first told me this. She said, you can handle this situation one of 2 ways. You can choose to let it defeat you, and you can crawl in a hole and never offer the opportunity ever again because 4 people just kind of shot you down, and you're embarrassed and you're scared and you're sad. Or you can cry for 5 seconds and get over your damn self, and you can move forward, and you can go find 10 new people to join your team. And I kind of stopped, and I stopped crying, and I was like, no, I'm not going to let these people determine my success. And I'm not going to let these people determine how I am going to, or if I'm going to be successful or not. So I continued having conversations throughout the rest of November and December. Still no new consultants, so I'm planting a lot of seeds. And I did a live video on my personal Facebook page the very end of December. I was sitting in front of my Christmas tree with a glass of wine, and I'll never forget it because I'll tell you in a second. But Kenny was there. My husband was there. He had just gotten back from deployment. And I kind of did like a little Q&A with him. Like I talked in a very authentic and vulnerable, I talked from a very authentic and vulnerable place. But then I kind of turned the camera around and I was like, hey, Kenny, tell me what you think about Rodan Field so far. If you guys aren't, I think my profile is public. You guys should go watch that video, because what I was going to say is that I enrolled 7 consultants in January, and 5 of them told me it was because of that video. And I have been thinking recently I probably need to go back and do another video like that. But it just really spoke to people, and this is from them. This is what they've told me. It spoke to them. It made me seem, of course I'm a real person, but to them it made me still seem like a real person. And these are people from all areas of my life. People that I went to high school with that I was never close with, that just kind of knew. These are people that I went to college with and never knew. We just kind of randomly became Facebook friends, but I never even met them in real life. And just all sorts of people. But some preferred customers of mine finally bit the bullet and joined the team. But it was planting all of those seeds the end of November and in December, and leading with the business, and then doing that video that was very raw and real. And it was, I think it was titled like My Biggest RNF Paycheck or something like that, just because I couldn't believe that I was working around my girls from home, making that kind of money. And at the time I was just helping people with great skin. I wasn't even building a team. But shortly after I started adding people to the team, my husband and I sat down, and he is an Excel wizard. And so he did this Excel spreadsheet for me and did all these formulations and all sorts of stuff that's way over my head, and said, okay, this is what exponential growth looks like. You know, let's just say half of your team adds one person, and that one person, or all of those people, do the bare minimum at 600. This is what the end of the year is going to look like. This is what 12 months out is going to look like. And Courtney, I can send that to you if you want, so you can show it to the team if you want, because it was a major eye-opener. And Kenny has led multiple trainings for my team on this, because once you can fully wrap your brain around exponential growth and how big this sucker can get, and very quickly, it's like you don't want to slow down anytime soon. So I just wanted to tell you, and because that's another thing I was trying to do before I jumped on here, was look at my numbers and percentage of growth. But of course, Kenny did the numbers, so they're right. If I would have done them, they would all be wrong. In January, there was just 3 of us. The beginning of January, it was me, Courtney, and Heather. So it was the 3 of us. And then now, so right, we started January with just 3 of us. Now, what are we, mid-August, there are 83 of us. And it has just grown so quickly, so fast, because I tell my team, go out, recruit, and duplicate. What does Romy say? Like bunnies in love, which I just love that, because it's such a great image in my mind. Like, go out and spread the love and keep duplicating, because that's what's going to grow your paycheck and grow your org volume. So, okay. And again, in January, I had 2 very shaky EC legs. I just closed July with 21 very strong EC legs, one of which is a level 5 who hit her first month of level 5 circle quals last month, which, for those of you that don't know, is 25,000 org volume. So one of my EC legs is growing at an exponential rate, because she is duplicating every single month. She's out personally recruiting, and then she's coaching her team to do the exact same thing. So Kenny gave me this number, that my team is 27 times bigger now than it was 7 months ago, which is just astronomical. But he did say, he kind of laughed. He was like, I mean, you did only have 3 people, which is true, but that's neither here nor there. And the point is that we're growing, and we're growing quickly. And I attribute the growth to me coaching and training the team on how to do it. And it's not hard. You simply have to open your mouth and talk to people. A lot of people. And so have you guys ever heard of the 5-5-5 kind of rule of thumb? So it's kind of a good rule of thumb is 5 new reach outs a day, 5 follow-ups a day, and 5 new connections a day. So the new connections could be like maybe, you know, making new friends out and about, or 5 new Facebook friends. Maybe you go through mutual friends and you friend new people. So the 5-5-5. So a while back I was doing that, and I really wasn't seeing much growth. And then I started digging deeper into the numbers, and I realized if I'm only reaching out to 5 people a day, that doesn't mean that those 5 people I'm reaching out to are actual conversations with people. It just means that I'm shooting them a message or a text, a Facebook message or a text message. So I started upping the number of reach outs I was doing to up the number of conversations I was having. So now on average, I do 20 to 30, depending on the day, reach outs a day. So 20 to 30 reach outs a day. Those are just the messages that you're sending. And that's going to transpire to about 3 to 5 conversations that you're having a day. Okay? This really comes down to, I've always said two things really. It is between your ears, so your mindset, what you tell yourself, and then it comes down to a numbers game. Are you willing to commit the time and the effort to reach out to that many people to then see the results? So you're reaching out to 20 to 30 people a day. And guys, this is not hard. I teach the team, like, this is a quick message. Literally, I'm actually, I have to read it to you, and I should have pulled this up before, I'm sorry. But my level 5, Colleen, crafted the most perfect language. And I'm going to give it to you guys because I've never gotten so many responses from any of my language except for this. So let me see. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. Okay. You guys are going to think this is the cheesiest language, but it's short, it's sweet and to the point, which is what I love. And I don't know, it just gets people. So I say, all thanks to Colleen, I say, hey, Ruby, I hope you don't think I'm totally weird for asking you this, but has the business side of RNF ever crossed your mind? And I know that sounds so like simplistic and, there's absolutely nothing special about it. I'm not kidding you guys. I've been doing that language for about a month now. And I would say 8 times out of 10, people are responding back to me. And if it's a no, that's great. They've just never thought about it. That's not a no that, no, I'm not interested in the business. It's just no, I've never thought about it. And then I'm able to dig deeper. And another thing I've noticed from that language is that I'm getting more PCs because I'm having more conversations. So when they say no, and then we kind of talk a little bit further, and then they say, I'm not really interested in that, but I have been seeing all of your posts, your great before and after posts. Great. If you could change anything about your skin, what would it be? And then I transitioned the conversation into getting them on a regimen. Okay. So this language is gold, and I would highly recommend you go out and just literally blast it. All I have to do is change the first name, and it works. If you're sending anything longer than like if you're sending anything you have to like scroll on, it's way too long. You want the message that you send to people to be, like I said before, short, sweet, to the point. Have you ever thought about Rodan Fields? No fluffy stuff. Oh my gosh, I saw your pictures of your kids. They're so cute. I mean, really, do you really care? Maybe you do, but they don't care. And I think about me when someone reaches out to me about a business, an MLM, and they say, oh, your girls are so precious. I literally roll my eyes and I'm like, whatever. Like, yeah, they are, but you don't really care about my girls. You want to get my business. And so I actually did learn this from Colleen because I was that way. I was all, oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. How are you doing? Da, 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 da. And then I would get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted from them, right? And so Colleen is just a no BS type of person. She's just straight shooter. And so when we had a talk a month or so ago, she gave me that language and I thought, I don't love it, but I'm going to give it a try. Well, I am telling you, I'm obsessed with it. So go out and try it. Okay, so numbers, and then actually there is a third part. So I said it's between the ears, so it's your mindset, it's numbers, and then it's your language. I do truly believe that language is everything in this. And something that I work very closely with my new consultants is their language. So their very first Facebook post that they post, other than their announcement post from me, and I do tell them, because some people get excited and they want to go on Facebook and be like, I started a new RNF business. No, that's not the system. We follow the system when it comes to this business. And the system is I announce you on Facebook. And that's going to be the very first post that your network sees. It's very consistent. It's the same with every single person. And so the very first post that they do after that initial welcome post, I always have to approve it. And not approve it like, in a weird authoritative way, but just like I want to make sure it's going to be exactly what your network wants to see. And so I look at their first post, language, right? I'm looking at the language. We look at the image that's going to be attached to that. And this does not take a lot of time at all. I mean, this could be, I'm like maybe making lunch and I'm looking at text messages. Like this is not a big deal at all. Another thing that I do is I have them screenshot me conversations that they're having. Of course, we get on dirt calls immediately before even their box gets in. Everyone does dirt calls, right? With newbies. Does everyone know what they are? Okay. I'll tell. What is it? Oops. Where'd you guys go? Okay. Jennifer, do you know what dirt calls are? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yes, I love dirt calls. And then I actually, so I call them dirt calls because that's what Romy calls them. And that's what I've called them for almost a year. But I'm in an Elevate training course, training class with corporate. And I learned this. There's not a term for it. It is a dirt call. But one of the leaders in the class gave me new language to use. So I want you guys to use this new language as well because it's brilliant. So when I would talk to my new consultants prior to learning this new language, I would say, all right, we're going to create your dirt list. These are going to be the people that, would literally buy dirt from you. You're stuck on the side of the road at 2:00 in the morning, and these are the people that are going to come to you. And the first thing my new consultants would be like, oh, I don't want anyone to think that they have to buy something from me on these calls. And they get kind of icky. But I will tell you, I do not coach or train anyone on my direct team that does not do at least 3 dirt calls with me. They don't get me if they do not do dirt calls. I'm very, very strict about that because that's the whole start of their business. That's the learn as you earn, right? So, but this new language that my new friend Laura told me is so great. So it's, you're talking to your new consultant and you say to them, okay, you find out this morning that you're pregnant. Who are the first 3 or 4 people that you tell? And you don't preface it with anything. You just ask that question. And I've tried that with my last 3 new consultants. And I'm telling you, their training has gotten off to a much faster start. They're hitting EC. I usually get my girls to EC within 3 to 10 days. That's usually how long it takes me to get them to EC. These girls are hitting it in 2 to 5 days. And I don't know if it's that, I can't pinpoint if it's that or if these girls just want it more than anyone else. I don't really know, but I have switched up my language a bit and I love it. So just simply ask, okay, you found out this morning you're pregnant. Who are the first 3 or 4 or 5 people that you're going to call? And I just love that. I really love that. But one of my consultants is older. And so she was, she said her grandma and she's like, I don't know about that. But anyways, okay, what else? Language, let me see, duplication. Okay, so, this is another one I wanted to tell you guys about that I think also helps get them to EC quick if they haven't already hit it and gets them a couple of PCs under the belt. We do a virtual business launch because most of my team is not here locally. We do a virtual business launch within 14 days. So as soon as they enroll, as soon as we do their dirt calls, we look at the calendar and schedule their virtual business launch. And I've switched up how I do them for probably 6, maybe 4 or 5 months. I did posts. So the entire event would just be 24 posts. It was so boring. There was not a lot of interaction. And it bored me to do it. It bored me to tears to do it. And so one day I was thinking, how can I make these virtual launches better? Not only for me, because it's painful just sitting here posting all this boring stuff, but also for my consultant because it really wasn't doing much for them. So I thought, I love live videos. People love watching live videos because it's easy. They can just turn it on while they're, getting ready in the morning or while they're having a wine at night. So the way I do my virtual business launches now is I have my new consultant go live in the page and do a welcome. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining my business launch. I'm so excited to share Rodan and Fields with you. But first I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this. And they get real and raw and they tell their friends and their family and whoever's on that event why they're doing Rodan and Fields. They give their why. And then she says, all right, I'm going to turn it over to my business partner, Jacqui, and she's going to share everything about Rodan and Fields with you. So then she gets off live. I hop on live. I have all the products with me. I go through the doctor's story. I go through each regimen. And if there are people that are actively watching, I will respond and I will interact with them. So I'll say, Michelle, what if I could ask you, if you could change anything about your skin, what would it be? Or if, I'll talk about, if no one's really talking, I'll say something like, okay, and then reverse, and I'll talk about what reverse does. And I'll say, who that's watching, would need reverse. And, I would go back and forth. And I'm telling you guys, my new girls are getting 3 to 6 new preferred customers. They haven't gotten any business partners yet from this, I don't think, but they're getting 3 to 6 preferred customers, and that's building their confidence, because that getting preferred customers and business partners quick really starts developing that confidence level. New consultants are so self-conscious, and they're so scared because they just invested $1,000 in a business and they're like, holy crap, like, was this a terrible mistake? I don't know if you guys thought that when you enrolled, but I did not have $1,000 to invest in a business. And actually, I came to my enrollment call with Romy, having done a little research on my own. I was going to do the $395, like, personal results kit. And Romy was like, what? No, we're going to get off this phone. You're going to go find yourself some money and you're going to do one of the larger kits. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to wait. And she said, well, you're not doing the $395. Like, I know how you want to build this business and you're not doing the $395. And so within a matter of 2 minutes, I went from the $395 to the $995. So that's another part that I wanted to share with you, because people have more money than they're telling you they have. I have learned this so many times. I have never, not once, I think I probably have probably half of that 80 is on my team. I probably have 40 directs. I haven't counted, but I probably have 40 directs. None of them, not one, have ever purchased the $395. I've never sold the $45 thing or the $395. I only ever talk about the $695 and the $995. I always explain to people that they need to be a product of the products. And you can't do that with anything else, because sometimes people will do their own research like I did. I had a call on Monday and Kate was like, but I was just reading on Google that there's like this $395. And I was like, Kate, you said you wanted to build a huge business. You're not going to build a business with that. So we're moving on from that. And you have to talk like that, because you are the professional in the situation. I know it kind of may be uncomfortable, and if that's not how you would normally talk to someone, trust me, it was not how I normally spoke to someone. But to build this thing big, you have to be in control. You're the professional. And that was something that another thing Romy taught me from very early on. They don't know what they don't know. And so we have to lead the conversation. So I would really encourage you guys to never talk about the $395 or the $45. It's just not worth it. I will say that there have been people that have come to me and said, I want to join right now and I would be so successful, but I just can't afford it. I say, okay, well, we're going to brainstorm how you're going to make that extra $300, $400, $600, whatever kit you want to do. We're going to brainstorm how you're going to get that money. And I've had 3 girls on my team, 3 girls that were not on my team come to me and say this, that wanted to do the $395. We brainstormed and they went to work. They literally were, all three of them actually are here locally, but they started posting on Facebook about selling stuff. I saw them, one lives in my neighborhood. I saw her do a couple of garage sales, some hawked jewelry. What was the other one? My one girl, Ashley, for like 3 or 4 weekends in a row, did like a dog walking thing where she was just like, hey, I'll walk your dogs. I don't know. She posted on our local neighborhood site, and she was walking dogs up and down our street, I felt like every hour, every day, but she made the money, and she called me probably 4 or 5 Saturdays after that initial phone call and was like, Jacqui, I'm signing up. I'm ready to rock. And I said, don't you feel better now? Don't you feel that sense of accomplishment already? And you haven't even enrolled yet. You literally went from not being able to afford it to going out and hustling, making that money, and now you can afford the kit that's going to allow you to have Lash Boost, because that's all she ever wanted to try was Lash Boost. It's going to give you Lash Boost. It's going to give you all the things that are going to make you successful, because you need to be a product of the products. So I think just being very, very hands-on in your new consultant's very first 30 days. And I tell my girls, for 30 days, you're going to get me. You're going to get me twice a day. I'm sorry, I always say twice a day and they freak out. Twice a week for 15 minutes. You're going to get me. After those first 30 days, if you are not recruiting, you don't get me, because you don't need me. You don't need me to help you with selling skincare. But if you're recruiting and you're building a team and you're earning back your fast start, you're going to need me, because we're going to need to get you to level 5. So, or if they're not at level 2 or 3 yet, we'll get there. So we need to get you, we'll do probably maybe more of like once a week, 30-minute call. And I say that to them on the very first call, literally. So I always schedule my enrollment calls to be about 20 to 30 minutes. Enrolling is quick. You guys know it's like 5-8 minutes. And then the rest of that time is getting all of their dirt calls scheduled, getting all of their training scheduled for the next 30 days. And then of course, getting their, or explaining how things are going to work. And then I make them buy Romy's book as well. Sometimes I gift it to them depending on the person. I should probably just give it to everyone, but anyways, so I think just setting a very clear picture of this is how your first 30 days is going to look. And if you are coachable, you're going to be successful. If you're not, you're not. Don't reinvent the wheel. You don't have to. I'm giving you a proven blueprint that works. And if you follow it, you're going to see success. And so, again, I think just setting that stage from day one helps tremendously. And you're going to see who's going to come and play, because I don't want you guys to think that every single consultant that I enroll is this rock star, because that is so not the case. I have like a complete page or 2 on Pulse that are all zeros that do nothing, that came in saying they wanted it, but they aren't willing to work. And those people, of course, they don't get me. If they text me, maybe I get back to them, maybe I don't, but I have very limited time in a day. I have 2 daughters that, oh my Lord, they're very busy, 15 months and almost 3, a husband that's never home, and life's crazy. So I don't have time to deal with people that aren't taking this seriously. My time is invested in the people that are wanting and willing to work, but then are actually doing the work as well. I will say, though, that I'm not so much a hard ass, as there are some people on the team that really do want it. And maybe they're just floundering and just can't figure some things out. So if that's the case, then I'll schedule a 15-minute little power shot with them and just say, okay, what's going on? What's your language look like? Let's kind of break it down to see what's not clicking. Are you leading with the business? And I will say 9 times out of 10, they're not. They're scared. And so I say, all right, go reach out to 50 new people with the business first. Use this language. I'm going to handhold and spoon feed you what you need to do. Go do it. And so it's up to them then if they go and do it or not. A lot of times they don't, because people aren't willing to get uncomfortable. That is one thing I have learned in this business, is that if you want to be successful, you got to get uncomfortable. That was really hard for me in the beginning, because I had done so many businesses before. People knew me on Facebook. I sold, like I said, jewelry, and I sold real estate. I even worked at a little clothing boutique, and then I had my own clothing boutique. So people were used to me selling things, and I just thought, this is not going to be good. People are going to judge the hell out of me. And then I thought to myself, those people aren't paying my bills every month. Why do I care what they think? And so again, it goes back to, between the ears. Why do I care? Flipping that mindset in reverse and really focusing on the things that are going to create, the things that are going to give me the life that I want and that I deserve, that we all deserve. So, Courtney, am I missing anything? And then I thought we could open it up maybe for some questions, and I'd be happy to answer questions, or if you think I'm missing anything. That was everything I wanted to talk about. But
oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was like a shot of adrenaline, I think, for everybody on here and everybody that's going to watch the recording. So that was amazing. I do have one question, just because I love your no BS, like just here's how I'm playing it. So I wondered if you would take just a second and coach. I know that like people are feeling defeated with no lash boost. How are you coaching your team on that? Or, or just kind of saying, hey, I want to hear the no BS thing because I love it.
Oh my God, the no BS is that I literally don't stand for it. Like, you don't complain on our team page. And if you do, you're off. And what I'm telling them is that hundreds of thousands of people built this business huge, like they did, like a Romy, without lash boost. Like, why? I don't even understand why everyone is so bent out of shape about it. Yes, it's amazing. Yes, it's kind of a bummer that it's not here, but create a VIP lash list. And that's exactly what I told my girls to do. Go create a VIP lash list and tell everyone that as soon as it comes back in stock, you're going to place their order for them. I have 9 people on mine, and some of the girls on my team have like 15 or 18 people on their lash list. So I think that they're not bummed, because they know that as soon as it comes back, they have a crap ton of orders to put in, and that's going to really amp up their volume. Another thing that we're doing is a VIP lash bash. And so we started it as soon as Lash Boost went out of stock, and we started inviting a lot of people. We have over 800 people in the group right now. And I post 2 before and after pictures every day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And I just am getting people really excited about Lash Boost coming back. And so we post the before and after pictures. And then the day that Lash Boost comes back out, we're going to do 5 live videos. And I've already asked leaders on my team to do this with me. So I'll go live first in the morning, and I'll kind of give the lay of the land of how things are going to happen over the course of the day. I'm going to say, you guys, this is what Lash Boost is all about. You've seen the before and afters. If you're already on it, buy it today. If you're not, buy it today. You need it in your hands and on your lashes. And so I'll explain to them that the first 20 people, because this is what we decided to do, the first 20 orders that are placed and then put on our Google Doc in that group page will get a free essentials item from my level 5 and myself. So Colleen and I are going to supply 10 each, and those first 20 orders are going to get a free essentials item. And then for every 25 orders, we're going to do a drawing for a free lash boost. So my goal for whatever day that comes back, Lash Boost comes back, is 150 Lash Boosts sold that day. So I want to give away a lot of Lash Boosts, and I'm really going to amp up, keep buying. I'm going to have a ticker going. We're only 2 away from the next freebie. We did this a couple months ago, like a buy more, save more type of event. So they got like a free product with purchase. And that wasn't buy more, save more. I think they just got a free product with purchase, depending on the amount they've spent. And that event was major for us. Like our customers and our people really love those types of events. And that's exactly what this is going to kind of emulate. And in that other event that we did, we had the same kind of ticker, like, okay, 5 more to go. And everyone wanted the next prize. So with the other event, it was like, when we hit our first 5 orders, we gave away a gift. 10 orders, 20 orders. In that one event, we had 45 orders. And it was humongous for us because, we're a relatively small team. And so I'm really shooting for 150 Lash Boost orders. But again, so sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent. But going back to Lash Boost and the morale, don't be upset. People built multi-million-dollar businesses on our core regimens. So I have a new consultant that just enrolled last week. She had a personal consult, like a one-on-one, like belly-to-belly consultation with a friend on yesterday. And she called me and was like, okay, she wants to buy Redefine and Lash Boost. I said, I could have said, lash boost isn't available. So you da 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 da. But I was like, awesome. Because she had me on, I didn't know she had me on speaker, but I'm glad I was as excited as I was. I was like, awesome. Okay, get her redefined order placed for her, put her on your VIP lash list, and as soon as it comes back out, we'll get her order placed for her. And Carissa was like, sounds great, cool. So there's no room for negativity because this lash list is everything. So I've made this whole kind of lash boost not being here, like, it's okay. We're going to have a huge pop in volume as soon as it comes back. Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I totally agree, and I love that. And the core regimens are, again, like you said, how so many people built their business. I just know that I've heard a lot of just, when's it coming back? And I feel like it could be stalling people that, don't worry about when it's coming back. Let's get out there and do those 20 to 30 reach outs every day.
Absolutely.
The business has lash boost.
Do what?
The business has lash boost. The business kit.
The business kit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else I can?
Awesome. Does anybody else have a question while we have this rock star's ears here and her words of wisdom?
Anne.
Question.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, Jacqui. Sorry, I think there's a delay. My computer's real slow. But when you were talking about your Facebook events that you do, and you were saying, you have your new consultant do an intro, and then you go live. So you go live like the whole time? You do like just one live thing presenting everything instead of doing posts? Because we do a lot of posts, and it's hard to keep up with them. So
I know. So we were doing posts, and it was really hard, like you said. And, they'd kind of get out, I would number all of them, but they would still kind of get out of order. And I just thought it was kind of boring. And if I was someone, I really wouldn't want to participate in something like that. So my new consultant goes live first, right at whatever time the event starts. And she says, hey, thank you for attending. She gives her why and how excited she is to start. And we always offer incentives, and I always talk to them beforehand about what they want to offer. So, $20 cash back so they don't have to pay for their PC Perks enrollment. Or if they can't hack that, maybe a free essentials item or a glow packet with purchase, but something to get people really excited. And so I'll find out from her what the incentive is going to be. And then, she'll jump off live. I'll jump on, and I will it takes me 45 minutes from start to finish so it's a huge investment for time, time investment on my end. So I just started requiring that they have at least 3 people on the event because a lot of our team gets invited. And so what I was finding was that a lot of the people in the event were just our team members wanting to come and learn from me. And I'm like, I love you, but I'm not going to spend 45 minutes of my night when I could be doing IPA for my business, just talking to my team. Because I do trainings every week for them. So I require 3 people live on the event. And now I know that's kind of hard because people may tell you that they're going to be on there and then they're not. But what I mean by that is 3 people have said to you, yes, I'm going to be there. Okay. And then, I go live the whole time. I give the doctor's story. I give my story, of course. That was something I wasn't doing because I was like, these people don't care, but we're paid storytellers. So when someone that's watching this event maybe has a very similar story to mine, can relate to me, the business side of things may spark an interest with them. So I give my story, I give the doctor's story, and then I go through every regimen, and then all the, the paste, the lash boost, hydration, eye cream, lip serum, all those types, the roller. And then I talk about the business and how whoever it is that's watching can support my new consultant. You can join the business, you can become a preferred customer or a referral source. And so I talk about how they can support my new consultant. And then I usually give the incentive. And I say in the title, like, stay till the very end so you can hear what we're giving away and something like that to kind of entice them a little bit. So that's what we do. We don't do any posts. We do one thank you post at the very end. And just, thank everyone. Here's a recap of what we're giving away or something like that.